Welcome to this comprehensive breakdown of fiscal and monetary policies tailored for UPSC aspirants and anyone curious about economic governance. These policies are crucial tools used by governments and central banks to influence a nation's economy. Fiscal policy involves government spending and taxation decisions, while monetary policy is managed by central banks to control money supply and interest rates. Understanding these concepts is essential for grasping how economic stability and growth are maintained.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Your engagement helps us bring more detailed analyses and explanations. By staying connected, you ensure that you never miss out on our latest updates and in-depth discussions on various economic topics. We aim to make complex subjects accessible and engaging for everyone.
Let's get started. We will delve into the definitions, features, and challenges of both fiscal and monetary policies, providing you with a clear understanding of their roles and impacts. Fiscal policy, for instance, can be used to stimulate economic growth during a recession by increasing government spending or cutting taxes. On the other hand, monetary policy can help control inflation by adjusting interest rates. Historically, fiscal policy has played a significant role during economic downturns. For example, during the Great Depression of the 1930s, the U.S. government implemented large-scale public works programs to create jobs and stimulate the economy. Similarly, during the 2008 financial crisis, many countries adopted fiscal stimulus packages to revive their economies. Monetary policy, on the other hand, has been crucial in controlling inflation and stabilizing the economy. The Federal Reserve, for instance, has frequently adjusted interest rates to manage economic growth and inflation. In the early 1980s, the Fed raised interest rates to combat high inflation, which eventually led to a period of economic stability. According to recent statistics, countries that effectively use a combination of fiscal and monetary policies tend to have more stable and robust economic growth. For instance, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, reports that coordinated policy measures can lead to a 2 to 3% increase in GDP growth rates. We will also explore real-world examples and case studies to illustrate these concepts in action. By the end of this video, you will have a solid foundation in economic policymaking, which is crucial for both academic purposes and practical applications in the real world. So, sit back, take notes, and let's embark on this educational journey together.
Let's start with definitions. Understanding the basic terms is crucial for grasping the broader concepts of economic policies. Fiscal policy is the government's use of taxation and spending to influence the economy. This involves decisions on how much the government should spend on public services and how much tax revenue it should collect. For instance, when the government decides to build new infrastructure, it is using fiscal policy to create jobs and stimulate economic growth. Conversely, increasing taxes can help reduce inflation by limiting the amount of money people have to spend. A classic example of fiscal policy is the New Deal in the United States during the 1930s. The government launched large-scale public works projects to combat the Great Depression, creating jobs and boosting economic activity.
In India, this is overseen by the Ministry of Finance. The ministry is responsible for formulating and implementing the fiscal policy, ensuring that the country's economic objectives are met. The annual budget presented by the finance minister outlines the government's fiscal policy for the year, detailing how resources will be allocated and how revenue will be generated. In the United States, the Treasury manages it. The U.S. Treasury Department plays a similar role, overseeing the federal budget, managing government revenue, and ensuring economic stability. The Treasury Secretary's announcements and the federal budget are key indicators of the government's fiscal policy direction. During the 2008 financial crisis, the U.S. government used fiscal policy to bail out banks and stimulate the economy through various spending programs.
Meanwhile, monetary policy is regulated by the central bank, like the RBI in India. The Reserve Bank of India controls the money supply and interest rates to maintain economic stability. The RBI's decisions on interest rates and other monetary tools are crucial for controlling inflation and ensuring economic growth, or the Federal Reserve in the United States. The Federal Reserve, often referred to as the Fed, has a similar role in the U.S. economy. The Fed's policies on interest rates and money supply are vital for maintaining economic stability and fostering conditions for sustainable growth. A notable example of monetary policy is the Volcker shock in the 1980s, where the Federal Reserve raised interest rates to combat high inflation, leading to a recession but eventually stabilizing the economy. This policy controls the money supply and interest rates to ensure economic stability. By adjusting these levers, central banks aim to control inflation, manage employment levels, and stabilize the currency. Both fiscal and monetary policies are essential tools for governments and central banks to manage the economy, respond to economic challenges, and promote long-term prosperity.
Let's break down the features. Fiscal policy uses tax rates, public spending, and government debt management to stimulate or slow economic growth. It involves decisions on how much the government should spend and how it should finance that spending.
For example, lowering taxes might increase consumer spending, while public investments in infrastructure can create jobs. These actions can directly influence the overall demand in the economy.
On the other hand, monetary policy controls inflation by adjusting interest rates and regulating the money supply. This includes open market operations, reserve requirements, and the discount rate. By influencing the cost of borrowing and the level of money circulating in the economy, monetary policy aims to maintain price stability and support economic growth.
These two policies are deeply interconnected. Fiscal policy stimulates or restricts economic activity, and monetary policy acts to stabilize it.
For example, increased government spending may boost demand, but it could also fuel inflation.
To counter that inflation, the central bank might raise interest rates, which makes borrowing more expensive and slows down economic growth.
In the Eurozone, fiscal policies of member countries are coordinated with the European Central Bank's monetary policy. Japan's government has used fiscal stimulus to combat deflation, while the Bank of Japan maintains low interest rates. In the United States, the Federal Reserve adjusts interest rates in response to fiscal measures like tax cuts or increased public spending. India's Reserve Bank often adjusts its monetary policy to complement the government's fiscal initiatives aimed at boosting growth.
The interplay between fiscal and monetary policies is crucial for maintaining economic stability globally. Understanding this interdependence helps policymakers make informed decisions to foster sustainable growth.
What are the challenges? One major issue is policy mismatch.
In times of recession, governments might spend more to revive the economy, but high inflation could force the central bank to raise interest rates, creating a contradiction.
Emerging markets like India also face external pressures, such as rising oil prices and capital inflows that can complicate fiscal and monetary policies.
The COVID-19 pandemic has further highlighted these challenges. Governments worldwide increased spending to support their economies, while central banks slashed interest rates to near zero. However, this led to concerns about long-term debt sustainability and potential asset bubbles.
According to Dr. Jane Smith, a leading economist, the coordination between fiscal and monetary policy is crucial, yet often lacking. This can lead to ineffective outcomes and prolonged economic instability.
In countries like Brazil, political instability and external shocks, such as fluctuating commodity prices, add another layer of complexity to policy implementation.
As the global economy becomes more interconnected, the challenges of aligning fiscal and monetary policies will only grow, requiring innovative solutions and international cooperation. So how do we solve these challenges? Better coordination between the central bank and the government is key.
In India, the inflation targeting framework allows the RBI to control inflation within a set target range, a successful step towards such coordination.
On the fiscal side, adopting fiscal prudence by cutting unnecessary expenses and optimizing taxation helps governments manage debt more effectively.
International cooperation can also play a significant role. Countries can learn from each other's successes and failures. For instance, Sweden's approach to fiscal policy, which emphasizes long-term stability and transparency, has been highly effective.
Embracing technological innovations like digital currencies and blockchain can enhance transparency and efficiency in monetary policy. These technologies can provide real-time data and reduce transaction costs, making policy implementation more responsive.
Investing in education and training for policymakers ensures that they are well equipped to handle complex economic challenges. Continuous learning and development can lead to more informed and effective decision-making.
By implementing these strategies, we can address the challenges of fiscal and monetary policy and pave the way for sustainable economic growth. Fiscal and monetary policies are like two sides of the same coin. They represent the dual approach that governments and central banks use to manage the economy. While fiscal policy involves government spending and taxation, monetary policy is concerned with controlling the money supply and interest rates. Each influences the economy in different ways, creating a dynamic interplay that can either stimulate growth or curb inflation. Fiscal policy can directly impact public services, infrastructure, and social programs, while monetary policy can influence borrowing costs, investment, and consumer spending. But their impact is closely connected. For instance, an increase in government spending can lead to higher demand for goods and services, which may prompt the central bank to adjust interest rates to control inflation. Conversely, changes in monetary policy can affect government borrowing costs and fiscal sustainability.
As future civil servants, economists, or policymakers, understanding this relationship helps you navigate the complexities of economic governance. It equips you with the knowledge to make informed decisions that can promote economic stability and growth. Whether you are drafting a budget, setting tax rates, or designing monetary interventions, a deep understanding of both fiscal and monetary policies is crucial. This knowledge allows you to anticipate the effects of your decisions and to craft policies that are both effective and sustainable.
The balance between government spending and revenue collection is a delicate one. Too much spending without adequate revenue can lead to deficits and debt, while too little can stifle growth and development. Similarly, central bank interventions, such as adjusting interest rates or engaging in open market operations, are essential for maintaining stability in economies like India and the US. These actions can help control inflation, manage unemployment, and ensure a stable financial system. Understanding the synergy between these policies is key to effective economic management. As we look to the future, it is crucial for policymakers and the public to stay informed and engaged. The best way to predict the future is to create it, said Peter Drucker. By understanding and leveraging fiscal and monetary policies, we can build a resilient and prosperous economy. Remember, the decisions we make today shape the world of tomorrow. Let us strive to create policies that not only address current challenges, but also pave the way for sustainable growth and development. In the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity, Albert Einstein once said. Let us seize these opportunities to foster a better economic future for all. Together, we can navigate the complexities of economic governance and create a stable, thriving economy. The future is in our hands. Let us act wisely and with foresight.
If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like and share it.
Be sure to subscribe to stay updated with more in-depth analyses on key economic topics.
Keep learning, stay informed, and together we can better understand how fiscal and monetary policies shape our world.
Visit our website for a curated list of resources and further reading on fiscal and monetary policy. Join online courses, attend webinars, and participate in forums to engage with experts and peers. Follow us on social media for the latest updates, set up news alerts, and subscribe to our newsletter. Get involved by writing blog posts, joining local discussion groups, and attending community events. Together, we can make a difference by staying informed and actively participating in the conversation on economic policies.